When C.S. Lewis met J.R.R. Tolkien during a meeting at Oxford University on May 11, 1926, the author of the Chronicles of Narnia was still agnostic and did not consider Christianity pure and simple. On the contrary, Lewis despised religion, and to him it seemed absurd that Tolkien was such an intelligent man and, at the same time, a devout Catholic. Lewis's prejudice against Christianity, and particularly the Catholic Church, was quite common at the time, especially among English intellectuals. Famous were the debates between H. G. Wells and J. K. Chesterton about the reasonableness of the Christian creed and how Catholic orthodoxy is at the forefront of science and philosophy. Although the Enlightenment spread an obscurantist view of Christianity, the fact is that the Catholic Church was founded in Western civilization and laid the foundations for current scientific progress. The Enlightenment version of the story prevailed, however, causing Christianity to be seen as nonsense. For Lewis, this prejudice only disappeared due to his proximity to Tolkien, who was never ashamed of his own faith or tried to adapt to secularist discourses to stay in a university. Tolkien spoke openly of the Church in his lectures, demonstrating with argument and eloquence why the doctrine of Jesus Christ is the true religion. J.R.R. Tolkien's intellectual life is a stumbling block for anyone who doesn't believe in faith and reason. From an early age, the author of The Lord of the Rings demonstrated skills for an academic career, and his mother, Mabel, did her best to ensure him a decent education that would qualify him for university entrance. When Tolkien later had to choose between passion and studies, he accepted the sacrifice of 3 years away from his girlfriend, Edith Brett, in order to devote himself to college. At the academy, Tolkien soon stood out for the quality of his classes and the simplicity with which he treated other professors and students. There was a sense of civilization, a captivating lucidity, and a sophistication. One of his students, writer Desmond Alroy, said of the professor's lessons. In fact, Tolkien embodied his readings exuberantly, as if he were in a theater, leading the audience to live in the dramas of the characters. It was something memorable. Of course, all this vivacity would not go unnoticed in the eyes of Lewis, who, faced with a strange paradox, an intelligent Catholic, he ended up having to question himself about the foundations of Christianity. Tolkien, by the way, felt particularly responsible for his friend's conversion, which is why they met several times in pubs for long talks on the authenticity of the life of Christ. Lewis finally discovered that Jesus was not just a legend of the past, but a living person who turned the truths of myth into flesh and history. The case of J.R.R. Tolkien is not a turning point in church history, but just one of many in the long Christian tradition, which goes from Augustine and Thomas Aquinas to more recent names such as J.K. Chesterton, Edith Stein, Leon Bloch, and Dietrich von Hildebrand. All these produce works of great intellectual and religious benefit. If you have to serve God with your intelligence, studying is a serious obligation for you. Furthermore, Catholics are obliged to study because it always says, St. Thomas Aquinas, man comes as close as possible to the likeness of God, who made all things wisely. It is no surprise, therefore, that among the most important intellectuals in society are pious Catholics. C.S. Lewis had the chance to discover this in an exceptional way. In fact, Catholicism is the father of high culture, and there is no religion in the world that has among its adherents such brilliant minds who knew how to convert study into prayer as the Catholic Church.